WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly,
the longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Because that's what this show's about. That's what we've been doing for over 16 years.
No. It's about sports entertainment.
And now here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Will you stop marking out over there?
Sorry.
Move over, kid. I'm taking your microphone.
You're shallow, you know that?
I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I don't remember what the hell I do anymore.
Shut up!
There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you. And that's it, apparently. It's amazing. I got a text from Lucas. Yeah, I'll definitely be there. I'm. Let's see here. Yeah, I was asking about the show. Yeah. Yep, gonna make the show. I let him know that it's a 45-minute show, as we're going to be cutting off a little early due to high school basketball. Nottingham against Lawrence, a playoff game here, and. Well, we'll see. I guess Lucas is off being a celebrity or something.
I'm a celebrity now. That's right. I said it. I'm a celebrity.
Yeah, well, we can move on without him. There's a lot to get into, and I can certainly take care of it alone here, at least for now. So, a couple of things to get into in terms of news and notes. Could TNA stand for things not all right in terms of talent? I'll let you know a little bit more about that as the course of the hour. And the WWE Hall of Fame about to get some glam. We'll tell you who's in there if you didn't find out over the course of the week. Also, some contract negotiations that seem to be broken for a notable TNA tag team. Also, divided, We the People Fall. No, don't worry, we're not getting political. That's different. Different day of the week, but this particular time slot, but we're not going there necessarily. Also, Not to Blame is John Cena. Bum, ba-dum, bum. Yeah, we'll tell you more about that. Also, Jolly Old, or rather New Deal for Impact across the pond. And WWE, well, yeah, they're on top, but losing a little bit of swagger. I'll tell you a little bit more about that as well, kind of putting pieces together here. Plus, I'll have the predictions starting to go wrong for Fastlane. We'll look at the lineup coming up a little bit later here in the hour. And all the usual fun hijinks, hilarity, and whatnot. Here in studio, although right after the show, I'll be heading on down to the MFPW Arena, 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey, where tonight, new heavyweight champion QT Marshall will be defending the title against a huge contender, literally and figuratively, in the Beast Cartel's Wild Man Congo, all 380 pounds of him. Can God's gift to professional wrestling survive the concrete jungle? Well, we'll find out tonight. Also, former champion Cody Vance has been medically cleared to return to action, as has Paid in Full. So what do the three members of the PDK, the Philly Diner Clique, have in store for the MFPW? We'll find out as well. In tag team action, Primal Fear taking on the Amazing Graysons, and Hook Robinson returns after his impressive debut victory over Shaheem Ali last week. It's all tonight at the MFPW Arena, 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey. The doors open at 6. The action starts at 7. Tickets are available now at eventbrite.com. Check out the MFPW and all things Monster Factory on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, plus at monsterfactory.org. And make sure to check out past matches, bios, bloopers, and more at the mfnetwork.com. And don't forget Factory Fridays, the 18 and older alternative to the MFPW, returning this Friday, March 10th, and looking forward to get back into that. It's been a few weeks now since that has gone down, and it's certainly a different and raucous crowd, to say the least. And I'm looking forward to that. So I guess we'll get into the talent departures, I guess we'll call them, with TNA. Of course, starting first with former TNA champion Drew Galloway, who announced that he'd be leaving the company this past Sunday, writing on Twitter, quote, "Thank you, Impact Wrestling, for these past 2 years and everything we achieved together. I'll miss everyone, and I'll see you down that long road." And as if that wasn't enough, contract talks between TNA Impact Wrestling and Matt and Jeff Hardy have reached an impasse. Sources indicating that the Hardys received new contracts from the company and were unhappy with the terms. And Mrs. Matt Hardy, good old Rebby, took to social media to express her frustration by threatening to melt the TNA tag team titles, the actual belts, writing, quote, "I shouldn't be surprised, but I am. The disrespect never ends. Bleep it. About to melt these bleeps down and have me some good new gold hoops that say Maxel." Matt mentioned, end quote there. Matt mentioned that it would be an interesting week for pro wrestling on his Twitter page, and Jeff hasn't publicly commented on the matter, but the Hardy family not too thrilled with the contract extension offer from TNA Impact Wrestling. And for those wondering, because when it comes to, I guess, naming rights and copyrights and trademarks and things of that nature, in terms of the rights to the broken gimmick, Matt Hardy actually owns the rights to that. So if he wanted to go to another company instead of TNA, he wouldn't have to necessarily revert back and eliminate everything that had been done with TNA, since that is under his own ownership and licensing and trademarking and all those other legal ownership things, for lack of a better term. Oh, wow. Meanwhile, according to Mike Johnson of PWInsider.com, the Miracle Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis Bennett have opted to leave TNA Impact Wrestling, and the contract of Jade has also expired. So that's, that's another notable. It's got the chance to actually have met and or worked with both Mike and Mrs. Bennett over the course of the past few years. Mike Bennett, at some point last year, I want to say in the summer of last year, was at the MFPW arena and competed. And Maria, I believe, oh goodness, I want to say it was maybe about 4 or so years ago now, before she had married Mike Bennett, when she was just Maria Kanellis, that she and I had worked together at one of the wrestling cards that were put on by George's Cards and Collectibles. One of the GF was it GFW back then? Or GCW? That's what it was. It all flows together after a while, after all these years, and this certainly wouldn't be any kind of exception in that regard. So, I mean, good to see. I mean, good luck to them whatever direction they choose to go in. And I don't know, it can't be good for the new ownership, Anthem Sports and Entertainment, as well as Jeff Jarrett, in terms of these various departures. But I guess in continuing to rebuild, they're looking to bring new talent into the mix here and kind of see where things go. Now, Jarrett went to Twitter to address the departures of Galloway and the Hardys, stating, quote, "For the record, it's Impact Wrestling's corporate policy not to make any comments on talent contractual matters." But then he goes on to say, "I personally wish nothing but continued success for the Hardys and Drew Galloway. All three of them are fantastic talent, and wherever they land, they will obviously do very well. Wrestling business can be tough at times, but one thing is for sure, the business is always changing. Ready for Universal Orlando and can't wait for Thursday. #MIGA. Yeah, I don't think I've gone and talked about that, and I know this is kind of like teetering up to that political line that we try not to go here, but I guess it's one of those polarizing things, the hashtag of MIGA, intending, of course, for Make Impact Great Again, akin to the political campaigning slogan of President Trump with Make America Great Again. So it's going to be a polarizing thing, and I guess based on most of the people who watch Impact Wrestling, I guess that would be a good way to go, and I guess that's where Jeff Jarrett was going with it, but I can see how there may be some detractors as well based on the comparisons and opinions of that sort. So I will say that it's definitely polarizing. Where I stand on it, well, I'll just leave it up to you to. I'll go with the Rocks line. It doesn't matter how where I stand on it in that particular regard, but just something that it popped up in observation. I don't know if we ever brought it up, so figured I would take this time to bring it up here. Although it isn't all doom and gloom for TNA Impact. There is some good news on the Impact front in terms of Anthem Sports and Entertainment announcing a new television deal on Thursday for Impact Wrestling in the United Kingdom, where it's been a hotbed over the last couple of years. Impact will be televised exclusively on Spike UK. Yeah, the United Kingdom has their own version of Spike TV. And of note, TNA had not had a television home or had been without a television home in the UK since January after Challenge TV had opted to move on. Anyway, we'll take care of our first bit of business here. We'll get to the other side. I did get a text from Lucas. He is on his way, so we'll see what we can possibly hear from him after many a week off here. And we'll also get to Ed from Northeast Philly right on the other side here, and we'll talk... Actually, yeah, I got to get that in there, too. Talk about our friends over at George's Cards and Collectibles. I mentioned them a little bit ago, and they've got more wrestler signings coming your way, including later this evening from 5 to 7 p.m., former WWE Intercontinental and Tag Team Champion, as well as one half of the Rockers, Marty Jannetty, will appear at the George's Neshaminy Mall location. And just announced this week, 2 more appearances coming up in early May. First, former 3-time WWE Tag Team Champions Demolition. That's right, Axe and Smash will be at George's Neshaminy Mall location on Saturday, May 6th from 3 until 5 p.m. And then 1 week later, what does everybody want? That's right, you guessed it. Former WWE and ECW star Al Snow will be appearing at the Neshaminy Mall George's Cards and Collectibles location on Saturday, May 13th from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. And one would imagine that his accomplice will join him as well. And I'm going to completely avoid making any other potential jokes or double entendres with that, but you wrestling fans know where that's going. George's has 3 locations for all of your cards and collectibles needs, including their original store at 7755 New Falls Road in Levittown, in the Willow Grove Park Mall in the second level near Macy's and Tivana, and in the Neshaminy Mall in the movie theater wing. For more information, go to georgescollectibles.com and follow George's Cards and Collectibles on Facebook. Coming back, we'll get to Ed from Northeast Philly. Maybe we'll hear from Lucas as well. He said he's on his way, but we're already well over a third into the show. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Here's another What's It Worth Antique Minute. If your 14-karat gold bracelet weighs 1 troy ounce, how much gold do you really have? Because gold is a soft and malleable metal, it must be mixed with another metal, such as copper or tin, to make it hard enough to endure day-to-day wear. Pure .999 gold is defined as 24 karat. So if you have a 14-karat gold bracelet, 14 over 24 means that your bracelet would be approximately 58.5% pure gold mixed with 41.5% of another base metal. So your 14-karat 1 troy ounce gold bracelet would contain approximately 0.585 ounces of pure gold. If the spot price of gold is $1,200 per ounce, your 14-karat gold bracelet, having no gemstones, would have a ballpark scrap gold value of approximately $450 to $500. Auctioneer, appraiser, and home downsizing expert Mike Ivankovich hosts What's It Worth? Ask Mike the Appraiser radio show. And you can tune in on Friday mornings from 9 to 10 on WBCB 1490 or on the internet at WBCB1490.com. All commentators heard on WBCB express their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
Got the Luigi death stare from Fearon, so we might have to...
I didn't give you the Luigi death stare. That's not true.
Bridget gave me.
breaking kayfabe. Gonna break something else during this commercial.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Are we getting into that controversy again?
I know how it feels, and it's not fun.
Ironically enough, the Luigi Death Stare did come just moments ago.
And he is about to break something else besides kayfabe. How's it going?
Yeah, yeah. There might be a few busted Mahonies, and not in the good way. At the rate things are going here. Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro back in the house. The celebrity has returned.
I'm a celebrity now.
I am no
That's
such
right.
thing.
I said it. I'm a celebrity.
I'm not. I'm no such thing. I will admit it. And I only said
Just
that
showing up on your own time? Is that?
No.
No, I know. You had the chance to. You explained during the break, basically.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, and other stuff I'd rather not get into at the moment.
I know. I'm just completely obliterating you right now, and I'm sure you're thinking.
That is not fair.
No, it's completely fair, but what I'm going to do to you after this is not fair. At all. And there's another drop for you, considering you're just going to be hitting these like crazy.
No, what I'm going to be doing is hitting the phones, because we've got Ed from Northeast Philly.
What a segue.
Yeah, that's why I've been doing this as long as I have. Ed, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly. Ed?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, did Lucas's ranting put you to sleep?
No, he was too busy laughing at what just happened.
He was laughing at the insanity that just went on. Okay.
It's always a party when Lucas shows.
we got CCW next weekend with Proving Ground at the Skate Zone with a 7:30 p.m. bell time.
Oh, yes. That's right. That's coming up. Yeah, on the that would be 1 week from today. Would be 11th, wouldn't it? It's 7:30 bell time. He said, and doors open at 7.
7. And they also have the convention coming up in April 22nd at the arena. I think I mentioned that last week.
Yes, you did talk about that last week. The Collector Fest that. Well, a little while ago, we did have the chance to be in attendance for live. I know they've had a couple of them since then, and they're always fun. And there's a lot that goes on with them. That's for sure.
Yeah, they have a good lineup this time.
Yes, the Icons of Wrestling Convention and Fan Fest. That'll be on the 22nd of April. Just a few of the names that are confirmed. Will include Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat, The Outsiders, Christian, Rey Mysterio, Eric Bischoff, Broken Matt and Brother Nero. Yeah, an ear-to-ear grin, a bleep-eating grin just across the face of Lucas here. Also, Dalip Singh, formerly known as the Great Khali, Bully Ray / Bubba Dudley, Barry Windham.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Yep, Sergeant Slaughter's going to be there.
Gilbert.
Yeah, Gilbert, Sean X-Pac Waltman. Vader's scheduled to appear. I know he's been having some health issues, but he's set to appear there. MVP, Greg the Hammer Valentine, the Brooklyn Brawler, the Honky Tonk Man, and now a sad face over the... Because you won't be able to make it? Is that...
Yes, that is exactly why I have a sad face. I'm grinning, but I also realize you're not going. Oh, wonderful.
Oh, then I probably shouldn't mention the ladies that are going to be there. That'll really tear you apart.
Whatever.
Christy Hemme, Brooke Adams, Velvet Sky, Ashley Massaro.
I already met her.
Somebody else that you already met and worked with in person, Maria Manick as well is going to be there. Let's see, also Roadkill, Brian Christopher, Juventud Guerrera, the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. But yeah, huge lineup to say the least, and that's all going to be on the 22nd of April.
I know this isn't the
There
case,
might
but
be more added soon.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I know this isn't the case, but I really wanted to quote V1 on that.
No.
Yeah,
This is a veritable who's who, and not not the follow up to that.
Yeah, not the time or the place. I got it.
And did you say Bubba Ray Dudley too?
Yes, I did mention Bubba Ray or Bully Ray or Bully Ray, Bubba Ray Dudley. Yeah, take your pick. Certainly a notable name here in Philadelphia. A lot of extreme representation.
Might be the same man too. He always pops up.
Oh, yeah,
possibly, but I mean,
it's
he's not
inevitable.
advertised. But I mean, that's not to say that couldn't change, as there are still a few weeks left to go on it.
That's about it.
Alrighty, appreciate the look at the local scene as always. Ed from Northeast Philly, kind of bringing us around here, kind of keeping things local as we also talk things nationally, globally, and everything else here.
Yeah. Oh, that's globally. Did I mention I'm an idiot without doing it in a drop?
You have now.
Just making sure.
Gosh, just time markings all over the place. I need to go back and actually pull these, though. That's the... At some point, that'll happen
Yeah,
here.
that's the thing. It's whenever it's always a party when Lucas shows up. And
Something like that.
I was going to say, that deserves the reaction it got. I'm being dead serious.
All right. Well, unless you were... hopefully you were listening in the car, and that might explain your reaction when you came in here. We talked about the departures from TNA as of late. The Drew Galloway, the Hardys, Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis Bennett.
Yeah, I was gonna that one I didn't know about was Mike and Maria, and that's interesting because will we see them show back up at a certain promotion they were at previously?
Well, Mike was at it. Oh, okay. I see where you're going with that. Yeah, you have the four fingers being held up.
The Kingdom.
The Kingdom, yes. A Ring of Honor reference. Possibly.
Yeah, I wasn't saying WWE.
Well, no, I thought you meant, since Mike Bennett was at the MFPW last year.
Well, yeah, no, that's a given, because, but he could have been able to show up if he was with TNA, too, because we had Robbie E. a bunch of times, too.
Yeah, no, fair point. But
I'm going to do this, and I know it's going to get facepalm, but could you say that the Hardys have become deleted from TNA?
Well, no, more they're deleting TNA from themselves.
It's also fair.
Or they were looking to delete the tag title belts as Rebby hopped on social media and threatened to melt the tag team title belts down to make new gold hoops that say Maxel. Yes. Drink it in, man. Drink it in.
Drink it in, man. Well, he can't because he's probably being fed through a straw at the moment, but because of the festival.
Oh, yes, of course. Also, some other, it seems like it's all contractual this time around.
Yeah. Which is funny because I can't keep up with how
because your contract negotiations coming up, is that what? No.
No, I just can't keep up because, it's more like I'm counting the days of when the Hardys will return to WWE. More Jeff Hardy, but Matt Hardy too now because, oh my God. It's because as soon as I'd be like, is he going to re-sign? Please don't re-sign. Please don't. And not anything against TNA. It's more like I just love Jeff Hardy and I can only watch so much. I barely get to watch anything these days.
Yeah, but could you imagine
the pop?
Well, no, I'm going in a different direction here. Could you imagine I know this is kind of fantasy booking on my part, but could you imagine a program between Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt?
Yeah.
Yeah, let that sink in.
But the thing about that is Matt Hardy's great at what he does, but I think it's on two different sides of the spectrum because Bray Wyatt is an eerie character in a serious light, whereas Matt Hardy started that as he tried to do it serious, but he realized it was so
over the top
that it was it's so bad it was good. So I think that's where it's different. I would still love to see it though.
Yeah.
Oh God, I would love to see, and I would also love to see Jeff Hardy versus Seth Rollins, just because that's fantasy booking for me at least. Hardy versus
I could see you enjoying that.
Well, yeah, very very good choice of words there, Fearon. No, because
of course
the joke is Seth Rollins is the love child of Hardy and CM Punk in terms of just athleticism and look almost. Mm-hmm. And also I'd also love to see Matt Hardy and Kevin Owens go at it again, almost a throwback to their Ring of Honor feud.
Gotcha. Well, hopping over to WWE, they've got some interesting things going on as well. Probably the big one, Jack Swagger announcing that he requested his release from WWE.
Yeah.
Telling Chael Sonnen on the Beyond the Fight podcast that he requested his release this week. Also noting that the two sides were negotiating a new contract and weren't even close in terms of his compensation. Yesterday, WWE issued the following statement on the matter. This is going to sound very corporate and whatnot.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Jack Swagger has not been granted a release from his WWE contract. When he is granted his release, Jack Swagger will remain under exclusive contract to WWE for 90 days and will be compensated accordingly during that period, end quote.
I don't know. It said that he hadn't wrestled on TV at least, like, for a while.
Yeah.
So now, and he's not making any money.
Well, I mean, there's a downside guarantee, but it's probably not as much as if you'd have that additional exposure.
It's like it's almost like commission.
Yeah.
And that's the messed up part is he's not going to get his release. So that way he's not making a lot of money for his family. And now it's also like when he does get released, he won't be able to make any money for more money for 90 days.
Well, I mean, the way that those work is I don't think he'll be able to appear on television for 90 days. So he won't be able to go right over and jump to a Ring of Honor or a TNA. Or a Lucha Underground, or whatever direction they'd want to go.
All right, well,
one would think TNA because now Dutch Mantel's over there, Zeb Coulter, so you'd think of reuniting between the two
Dutch
of them.
Mantel is there. I was going to say he's back in good health and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good. I always loved Dutch Mantel, really.
But what's interesting regarding the 90-day statement is that Swagger is already advertised for next Saturday night's World Association of Wrestling event in Norwich, England. The promotion owned by Page's family might sound familiar.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm just
announced that his opponent would be Alberto Del Patron, better known as Alberto Del Rio, making it a rematch from WrestleMania 29.
Yeah.
If it happens, though, because contractual things.
Yeah.
So we'll see here. Also, WWE has named the Glamazon Beth Phoenix as the latest WWE Hall of Fame entrant. Phoenix joining Diamond Dallas Page, Teddy Long, the Rock and Roll Express, and Kurt Angle in this year's class. I don't know. Any umbrage with Phoenix going in before the posthumous China?
No, I mean there can still be a posthumous entry before, just because.
Oh, you think that might be what it is? That there was already a planned posthumous entry, and putting China in there would be jumping the proverbial queue?
No, I mean like she could be the hot posthumous entry, and then they also enter Beth Phoenix in because
Two. See, I don't know. 2 women's entries in the same year.
Why not?
Because WWE likes to go with this kind of format of, all right, a tag team or faction, a women's wrestler, a posthumous wrestler, a headliner, and then maybe some kind of unsung hero type thing. It's been that way for a while now. So if they rush through.
And then also the celebrity induction.
And the celebrity, yeah, I was forgetting something.
I was going to say, but that format's only. They also do international inductions as well. And
yeah, so I mean, they've tweaked the format, but I mean, when have we? I mean, I have to go back and look at the history of it. When has there been more than one female inducted into the Hall of Fame in a given year?
There hasn't. When was the last time when was it a regular thing though for females to be inducted? And also like. Why does it have to be in the same category as it's a posthumous induction and then the women's induction? You can still have them both be inducted.
Because these things have to be very meticulously micromanaged and segmented.
But it is segmented, but why does the posthumous wrestler have to always be a guy posthumous wrestler? I'm not trying to do this for like the...
Well, I think it's more that, I mean, there are... I mean, not to discredit anything that China has done, but there are more notable names that have been excluded in part because they don't want to do more than one posthumous entry per year.
Okay.
So, I mean, if that's the case, then why not? All right, let's all the dead deserving wrestlers, let's put them all in at the same time.
That's not what. But it doesn't have to be like that. It can be like China goes in as the posthumous entry. And then Beth Phoenix goes in as the women's living entry. Well, and also, if that's the case, then when's Vader going to get inducted?
Well, and then that's something that we can debate for a while. I mean, in terms of, I know one of the big names that's been floated around, and it may or may not happen, but in terms of the posthumous entry that we're talking about, it looks like this year that it may be, or at least it's been strongly rumored to be, Ravishing Rick Rude, who... Again, with his early passing, you would think certainly deserving as well. So, I mean, it's a matter of, I guess, which becomes the first one. So, I don't know.
As long as they both get inducted, to me, it's...
Yeah, they have to provide some availability so that way it's not 1 year a Hall of Fame induction that's a who's who of who's that. To use the line that you were trying to use earlier.
A veritable who's that.
A veritable who's that.
Of wrestlers.
Yes. Something
or sports
like that.
entertainers. I'm sorry.
All right. Can you believe? Wow, we've only got a few minutes left here. It's
why don't we talk about a little bit about Japan? What happened over there with certain people that we know?
Yeah, we can briefly get into that here before we take our second and final time out here. The Ring of Honor Honor Rising that just occurred over in Japan. Well, one of the MFPW's own coaches and contracted wrestlers as well with Ring of Honor, Punishment Damian Martinez making his Japan debut and bringing some gold back.
Yeah, it was funny because like one of my favorite stories about Damian is it was something about like when he was back before he used to manage a club down in Atlantic City, right? And the guy who owned the club, like he had a house paid for and everything, like he had it made down there. And the guy who ran the club, who owned the club, said, hey, you can either do this where you have it made, or you can go do whatever it is with wrestling. And Damian just went, hey, here's my 2 weeks notice, and now he's wrestling in Japan. And it's one of those it's really cool. I'm really happy for the guy. Plus, he put on a really good match with Hiroki Goto for the Never Openweight title on the second night. That was another thing. Mm-hmm. I got to watch a little bit of the match.
And you are, I was gonna say your demeanor says it all.
Really happy for the guy.
Yeah, me too. No, I'm not discrediting it by any means. All right, so I guess, it is about that time, and we haven't gotten any word, so I don't know if we're going off at 12:45, at 12:50, at 12:55, so it's kind of static here, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes along here, but it is about that time to talk about our friends over at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA, representing both in Bristol and throughout the area. That's right, co-owners Mike and Jay will be pouring samples at the Philly Craft Beer Festival today at the Navy Shipyard in South Philadelphia. And meanwhile, back in the tap room, it's a frickin' awesome Saturday as hitting the hand pump is Blueberry Hef, a German-style wheat beer brewed with blueberries. Wish the weather would be a little bit more cooperative for a wheat beer, but we had that a little earlier this week, and now we've got the cold snap going on. But still, the fact that it's you don't have the carbonation in it, it gives a completely different and distinct flavor to the beer than if you would brew it under normal circumstances. That's what makes the firkin interesting and different. So there you go, a little bit of beerology, a little education for you. Not that you're necessarily jonesing for it, you personally, Lucas, but
I can't disrespect anybody who enjoys a good craft beer.
Exactly. Also back on tap is the B-Gob's Old Toby, a Belgian pale ale brewed with basil. That's right. This beer
Is it basil faulty?
No, just your jokes are faulty. This beer pairs greatly with Italian dishes. Or you could try the Broken Goblet signature beer, Steinbeiser's Buried Treasure, an easy drinking cream ale where pints are just $3 anytime. Just a few reasons why it's always a good time at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Broken Goblet Brewing, the semi-official brewery of Pro Wrestling Weekly. Please enjoy responsibly. All right, so we'll come back. I've got a few more news, notes, tidbits, and otherwise, and we'll talk about the recent exploits of one Lucas, the intern, Twitch DeSangro.
Oh, whoa, what are we talking about there?
Well, we'll let them know on the other side. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Carpenter, a certified elder law attorney, with a special message for people who are caring for an elderly or seriously ill parent. I know it can be difficult to talk about finances and long-term care planning with your parents, but it's important to sit down together to talk about their concerns before your family is in the middle of a medical crisis. One helpful way to get the conversation started is to pass along a magazine or a newspaper article that discusses finances for the elderly. You also might want to get some advice from a certified elder law attorney. We can help you and your family understand the different options available to them. I'm here to answer your questions on WBCB Tuesday mornings on Senior Legal Strategies or in my office at 215-493-0727. That's 215-493-0727. Or check us out on the web at www.buckscountyelderlaw.com.
Thousands of families affected by disasters, like the recent flooding, urgently need support. You can help the American Red Cross provide warm meals, shelter, and hope to families when they need it most. Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
Everything you wanted to know about funerals and planning but did not know who to ask. Tune in Mondays at 9 a.m. to everything you wanted to know about funerals and planning, being brought to you by Louis A. Galzerano III Funeral Home. Call 215-945-8484.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, March 4. On this date in 1974, the WWF held an event at Madison Square Garden in New York City. In the main event, WWF World Heavyweight Champion Bruno Sammartino fought Nikolai Volkov to a time limit draw in 53 minutes when curfew was reached. On this date in 2002, WWF Monday Night Raw aired live from Austin, Texas. In the main event, Kurt Angle defeated Triple H in a steel cage match. On this date in 2003, WWE SmackDown was taped in Bridgeport, Connecticut. In the main event, Brock Lesnar pinned Paul Heyman in a steel cage match. On this date in 2013, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Buffalo, New York. In the main event, CM Punk defeated Randy Orton, Sheamus, and The Big Show in a fatal four-way match. This has been Today in Wrestling History, March 4. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro here for another just under 8 minutes. As we did get the call from Chris Irmer, we're going to be off at 12:50. So quite a few things to get in, kind of taking it home here, as it were, with the various things going on here, including John Cena speaking with Sports Illustrated about his expected WrestleMania mixed tag team match, and he wanted to make it clear that it isn't his choice. Cena saying, quote, "I know people have a perception of who I am. There's nothing I can say in this interview that changes that perception, but I'll say this. I don't pitch ideas. I don't go and say, this is what I would like to do. I've had tremendous success in being a versatile poker player, if that's a good analogy. I get my hand told to me, and I play it the best I possibly can. As far as WrestleMania is concerned, whatever I'm supposed to do, I'm going to do to the best of my ability. I can reference last year as a great example. I was ready, healthy, and 100% activated by early March, and I was told that I would be assisting The Rock in WrestleMania. Quite honestly, if it weren't for The Rock's involvement in WrestleMania, I would have been told that I would have been sitting out WrestleMania. This is why I love what I do. You sometimes get an off-the-beaten-path request, and it's your job as a professional to make it interesting and make it the best you can." End quote. So, translation, if you don't like the planned couples match at WrestleMania this year between Nikki Bella and Cena against The Miz and Maurice, it's not his fault. And it's not Snitsky's either.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, of course not. I just gotta throw that out there. And also, ProWrestlingSheet.com is reporting that longtime WWE executive Bruce Pritchard is returning to TNA Impact Wrestling. Pritchard has reportedly been hired to work as an on-air talent for Impact Wrestling and possibly backstage as well. Pritchard worked for Impact from October of 2010 through May of 2013, and Pritchard was with WWE from 1986 until 91, and after a brief respite back from 1993 until 2008. He hinted at the move at the end of his recent podcast, stating he would be in Orlando for WrestleCon during WrestleMania weekend, as well as for a live show with his podcast co-host Conrad Thompson, and added that he, quote, might just check out Orlando a little early.
You mean the elite athlete? Because I would say check him out as soon as possible. He's an amazing talent.
No, the town, you dingbat.
You dingus.
All right, let's get to predictions certain to go wrong. We've got Fastlane coming up tomorrow, and we've got 8 matches on the card and less than 5 minutes to get through them all. So pre-show, Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa against the Brian Kendrick and Noam Dar. I've got Swann and Tozawa.
Yeah, I was going to say Swann and Tozawa. I'll go with that. I'm probably going to be wrong just because Swann and Tozawa.
Yeah, I left the space open on my notes here because I thought you'd be here a little earlier, just saying. Roman Reigns against Braun Strowman.
I'm going to go Strowman. Just because, I don't know. I don't think it's... I'm pretty sure they'll go Roman, but I'd like to think they'll keep him going on a path he has until WrestleMania.
Well, they both have Roman in the name, but never mind. Just a few extra letters in Braun's case. Neville defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Jack Gallagher.
Neville.
Okay, I'm agreeing with you on that one. Bayley against Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship.
Charlotte.
You're going Charlotte, okay.
I mean, it would be a great surprise if Bayley won, but they're going to keep that whole undefeated at pay-per-views thing going.
Gotcha. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson defending the Raw Tag titles against Enzo and Big Cass.
The Club.
Okay, I'm agreeing with that as much as it pains me to say it. That's why I'm going with my head instead of my heart. Sasha Banks against Nia Jax. Don't make me pull out the Jeopardy theme. Come on now.
Jax.
Okay, you're going Jax on that one. I'm going with Sasha Banks. Sami Zayn against Samoa Joe.
Oh, I'm so glad this got added. Joe, but I want Zayn to... I won't be upset if Zayn wins. He won't, but I want... Yeah, Joe's going to win.
All right, so you're going for Joe, although your heart's going for Zayn. And finally, Kevin Owens against Goldberg for the Universal Championship.
I'm going to go with my heart, Owens. I know they're most likely going to have Goldberg walk out. I hope if Owens wins, it's not clean. I'll put it that way.
Interesting.
Because that makes Goldberg look stupid going into Mania against Brock.
Gotcha. I'm going with Owens on that as well, although I have a hunch I'm going to be wrong on that, but that's why it's called a prediction certain to go wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Anything I missed here? Well, we did talk briefly about Ring of Honor, and their parent company, Sinclair Broadcast Group, is in talks with rival Tribune Media. Deadline.com speculating that the discussions could involve a potential merger or simply parts of Tribune, such as Tribune's CW stations, WGN America, or its 31% ownership stake in Food Network. Now, according to CNBC, a deal between the two companies would face regulations on how many households they're allowed to reach, but their hope is that President Trump intends to lift those ownership caps so they can basically be deregulated and go to as many households as they are financially able to. Interesting. And I'll leave it at that. All right, so we've got 2.5 minutes left. Time for...
Birthdays!
Alrighty, I've got 4 plus the Brucey bonus. All right, firstly, on this date in 1974, Christopher Ford was born. The former WCW Cruiserweight Tag Team and Hardcore Champion, and interestingly, one of the very few wrestlers to have competed for WWE, WCW, ECW, TNA, and Ring of Honor, known both as Devon Storm and Crowbar, turns 43 today. Yeah, there's a little trivia stat for you.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say Christopher Daniels. Because he's been around, too.
He has, yeah.
And I thought maybe if he was going to be in WWE and ECW, it'd be as, a carpenter, as they say.
Mm-hmm. On this date in 1979, Sarah Stock was born. The former two-time TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champion and current NXT trainer known both as Dark Angel and Sarita turns 38 today. Huh. Yeah, I know.
Not Sarah Del Rey?
Well, I mean, she's the women's head trainer, but she is an NXT trainer as well, is Sarita. On this date in 1984, Steven Scott was born, the former TNA Tag Team Champion known as Crazy Steve from The Decay.
Ooh.
Turns 33 today.
I like Crazy Steve. Because it's crazy.
Of course you do. On this date in 1986, Brett Guile was born. Or is that Giel? G-I-E-H-L. The current Ring of Honor star known, well, with or without his boys, as Dalton Castle turns 31 today. And finally, the Brucey bonus. Oh, this is one of my favorites. On this date in 1954, Catherine Ann O'Hara was born. The comedic actress and writer known for her work on Second City Television and her roles in the Christopher Guest mockumentary films Waiting for Guffman, A Mighty Wind, Best in Show, and For Your Consideration, but perhaps best known as the frantic matriarch in the movies Beetlejuice as well as the first 2 Home Alone movies, turns 63 today. And she's currently starring alongside fellow SCTV alum Eugene Levy in a Canadian sitcom that I don't know if I can exactly say the name of it.
Oh, don't be.
It's a particular creek. We'll leave, yeah. With a different spelling, but with a, yeah. So I don't know if I can say it, but I think you can piece it all together there.
Okay. It's with a C.
Well, yeah, SCHITT''S. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay if you spell it and it's not the same thing, right? It's a last name.
It depends
it's a
on
last
the word.
name.
It depends on the word.
All right, let me before I get into more trouble here, because I can see Ted Efall looking
He's about to have
looking nervously over at me here. We can't even get to Nutsy because it's time for some basketball action here on WBCB. Nottingham and Lawrence, one of the two games that we have today for a tournament, and Chris Irmer is bringing